This is an image that I absolutely loved, man. The guy who's been in cage multiple times, both in the octagon and in the ring here, against Cody. The War Dog made way with Cesar Bononi, a bigger man than Wardlow, pretty quick. It buzzed right through him. But this wasn't really the story about that. I like that we were seeing Wardlow go against bigger guys such as Camarado, which I actually really, really enjoyed that match. Would love to see that again. Props to Camarado. Really did great stuff. And then also the Bononi, I thought we'd see a little bit more back and forth battle, which I would have been fine for. But the story told this part, the accountability buddy going face to face, pulling off the beanie, and just him staring down on Shawn Spears, man. And then that part was just like such a great, and the crowd popping. And obviously he's starting to lean into that a little bit more, and we're loving it every second of it with the Wardlow. But when MJF slapped Wardlow in the face, I think I saw steam coming out of his ears, and I think steam coming off his head as well, because the time he gets his hands on MJF, he's going to rip his limb for limb off of MJF for that.
It's going to be violent.
He was going to be fine. But what was interesting about that segment, though, was when he said, if you win and dethrone, you can keep the gold. And so we all thought along,
yeah, we did.
He would kind of have to try to relinquish it to MJF or something like that, where so, but I don't care if Wardlow wins or not, because he's on a warpath, but I just want the story to be told where he just takes out, starting with Spears and then MJF turning on in them and the accountability buddy. But I can't imagine, we don't want to spoil like our predictions and stuff for Revolution yet, but I can't imagine him with that momentum losing unless Spears has something to say about it.
I was going to tell you, man, we talked about this earlier in the show. How many times have we gotten played by MJF? This dude is always 1, 2 to 3 steps ahead. You got to imagine MJF sees what we see. You got to imagine that he and Shawn Spears and FTR are having some private chats about the War Dog problem, because there's only so much longer they can keep this guy on the leash. Eventually he's going to break out. I've called it over and over again. The War Dog is going to break out in a huge way. This guy is
superstar.
He is the true definition of a pro wrestling superstar. This guy has everything you look for. This is Vince McMahon's wet dream. The War Dog has it in spades, bro. The look, the presence, the moveset, he's got it all. And
right.
And you could tell MJF is doing his best to keep him under wraps, to keep him under lock and key. But maybe, just maybe, MJF is starting to see Wardlow's losing patience, and maybe he turns on Wardlow before Wardlow has the chance to turn on him.
Wow.
Would certainly be interesting. Like you just said, if Wardlow wins the gold, he gets to keep it. What if Shawn Spears costs Wardlow that opportunity, costs him that match? That could lead to, you just talked about MJF getting destroyed. Imagine what Wardlow will do to Shawn Spears when he gets his hands on him. It'll be
Scoot
fantastic.
Said 10 power bombs.
Yes, I love it. Sure. I love it. Great call.